Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, Part 49. We are now on the last 4 episodes of not only Dispatch episodes, but of the Dressrosa arc. Wow. Well, it seems like this one, the best thing to describe what exactly happened these episodes. Luffy arrives to fight Fukujawa, lasts about an episode, and then he gets pulled away because everybody's leaving to rush to leave the port. And we see the big grand ships. We go to the main ship, or Orbis' ship, and then of course then Fukujawa decides to do something completely oh my gosh. He decides to use his power to take all of the debris around Dressrosa to make this gigantic, humongous, smashing wrecking ball to try to smash all these pirate ships. Yes, but luckily enough, apparently because people heard about Doflamingo's fall from power, all these evil pirate groups going after Luffy because they really wanted to kill him for basically taking away their business. So then pretty much they show up and they all get crushed by, of course, the debris, and of course the remains of the debris get fall in the water. Meanwhile, though, on the main ship, on Orbis' main flagship, we have a very interesting thing happen that begins something that still to this day is still part of the manga. And that is the formation of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Yes, it's also revealed that we have the formation of the one new pirate crew here, a couple of them. One is the reformation of the giant pirates, led by Hydra, I think his name is, who's voiced by Chris Carrera. I'm not really sure why they replaced his voice actor for in this particular arc. Yes, I don't really know what was the reason why they replaced him for it. It's halfway through the story arc when he first showed up, he just got replaced by Chris Carrera. Nothing against the guy. I love the guy's work, but why did you replace the original voice actor? What was it? Legal issues? Was the guy was sick or he quit? Don't know. If I get a chance to ask Chris Carrera, I will ask him that. So, we have Heinrich, Leo, yeah, he's here, along with Sal, Cabbage, Bartholomew, Bartomeo. And these 5 people become the division commanders of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Cabbage becomes the first division commander. Division 2 is Bartholomew, and so on and so forth. Of course, Leo forms the Taratura tribe. Yep. The Taratura tribe, which this particular group does technically still exist. Yes, and they tease some stuff that basically you would see actually in the manga. Well, one other way to describe these episodes, these last couple, it does set up a cover arc. Yes. Division 3 is Sai, 4 is Idol of the Triple X of the Idol Pirates. Leo is Division 4, Hydrogen is Division 5, and Orbis is Division 6. Yep. Well, 7 actually, because Cavish is 1, Bartholomew is 2, 3 is Sai, 4 is Ida, 5 is Leo, 6 is Hydrogen, and 7 is Orbis. And of course, they also detail how many crew members they have in their crew. And, they give these special sake cups. Now, this technically in the anime is the first time they've actually done this. Now, the only time this has been seen in the history of One Piece was actually in the film Strong World, which came out several years before this. So, they want Luffy to become the head of the fleet, this big, humongous cup, and drink all these sake cups. Luffy, of course, doesn't want to drink the sake, but the sake is gets drunk by Zoro, Frankie, Robin, Kinemon gets a chance to drink this damn thing, even Usopp. Almost everybody there except for Luffy, Law, and Bellamy. So They drink this, of course, even though he doesn't want it, he doesn't want the fleet, but they basically must flee anyways, of their own free will. They basically drink it. And, well, we have the formation of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, and of course, they proclaim as Big Boss. And the fact Luffy is not the boss, despite the fact he technically is. Like, we should set sail. I was like, okay, set sail! And they have a big party. It's so much fun. And then they all get their own ships. And, of course, Luffy's group, along with Law and Bottomeo, which Bottomeo basically, he does not become a follower of Luffy. He does take the Beaver card. And here's the thing about Bottomeo. That's the last you see of him in the series. Well, mostly anyways. He does return for a cover story where it's revealed that after this happened, he retired from piracy. Became a dryer. Yes. The best way to describe dryers in the series is that they basically paint like flags, like dry flags. Yeah, that's what he does now. Yeah, they explain this one cover story. And you're thinking, really? That's the last you'll see of Bellamy? Yes. Barto will pop up for a few cover stories. Orbis would do a couple things here and there. The giant pirates, of course, well, they would pop up a few times in the cover story for the Straw Hat Grand Fleet serial. Saul will get his own series of stories. For pretty much all these guys here, the next time we see any of them would actually be in the cover story they actually had. Yeah, they had their own cover feature that actually lasted for a really good period of time. Yes, this particular thing lasted from chapters 864 to 919. They even had one of the chapters actually adapted for an episode of the series. Yes, episode 885 actually adapted one of the cover stories. Well, let's see if we can find it here. Let's see. Yeah, it adapted some cover stories. It covered... Let's see. That's not... Here we go. It covered from chapters 864 to 866, 868, 870, 71... 888. It's basically, I think it's mostly Saul stuff. That's what they covered here for that particular memory arc. But yeah, in the case of Barto himself, he would actually appear in the very next story arc, the Silver Mine arc, which of course the end of episode 746 does set up that particular arc. Then he next appears in the start of Zoo Island, and that's allowed to see him in the main story. Aside from the fact he appears in the cover stories for the Straw Hat Grand Fleet arc, which is a really long story. It's a really good story. I really wish this was adapted for an episode for the series because, excuse me, I love the stuff for the cover story. They haven't had one in a while. It's mostly been re-requests. So, Barto shows off his ship for the first time. It's called the Going Luffy. The front of the ship is basically Luffy from Part 1. Yeah, it's Luffy Part 1 outfit. The vest without the scar on his chest. And on the back of the ship is Chopper. We also have the Going Merry front that was on the front of the ship. We have orange trees. Surprisingly, there's no tribute to Frankie or any other members of the crew. And then we have the revelation of the actual bounties that went up afterwards. Yes, also the whole thing with Sengoku and Law. Great conversation. I love the fact they advance this a little bit. It kind of, in a way, wraps up Sengoku in the series. Though he himself does, in fact, like, after the conclusion of the story, he does appear a couple more times after this, but that's it. Same thing for the Grand Advisor. As for Doflamingo himself, I'll continue with the Straw Hats in a minute. But in the case of Doflamingo, after the story is concluded, he actually appears a couple times after this. He appears once in the Reverie arc, and he appears once in Wano, and that's it. That's all you see of basically Doflamingo. Just a couple episodes of the series, and that's it for him. In the case of Fukujawa, he actually makes a return. Like, as soon as his arc wraps up, the next time we see him is not until the Reverie arc, which, by the way, the end of this does set up that particular arc, but that arc does not come for quite some time. Like, it's not until actually I believe just last year, I think it was, when they actually had the actual memory arc actually happened, which was last year over the course of 12 episodes. Yep. Actually, I think it was like last year. It was right after Whole Cake wrapped up. They actually had them show up there. It was also next time we saw Sabo and the Revolutionary Army was actually that particular arc. Well, they did briefly appear. I think it was in like at the start of Reverie, where it mentions that the Revolutionary was destroyed, but they're perfectly fine. Okay, but all right. So like they show up new bounties. Luffy's and Law's are now 500 million. They don't mention Sabo. Yeah, Sabo's got a bounty, except his is 600 million. They actually, for him, they'll bring up this episode, but it's very little bit later. I heard that actually got some controversy. Yeah, people were not very happy with the fact that Sabo had a higher bounty than Luffy's. Zoro is now up to 320 million. In the case of Frankie, it's 94 million. Usopp is 200 million. They actually got the right thing for him. Sanji got a new poster, and he gets a new bounty. And of course, I do notice in the text that says only alive. Yeah, there is an explanation for that, but it's not explained until Whole Cake. Yes, that's the whole point of that particular why that's there is to set up Whole Cake. Yeah, that's the only reason why it's there. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think Robin's. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Let's see here. Robin's went to. 80 million. Actually, no, it was like 130 million. She finally got past 100. Basically, she got past 100 million, which I think she was very happy with that. Though her bound didn't go up after Whole Cake, mainly because she wasn't there. And Choppers only went up to 100 berries. Yeah, I think I'm a recurring joke in this series. Yeah. Yeah, in the case of Nami, yeah, her bounty did go up with this particular arc. Hers is up to 66 million, but her bounty doesn't go up. Strangely enough, her bounty does not go up after the events of Whole Cake. Yeah, it doesn't. Surprisingly, I'm not really sure why. Brooks, they actually replaced his with his basically one of his show posters. Originally, he was 33 million. Now he's 83 million. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 83 million. Yep. But yeah, not much else to say about these episodes. They're good. I love the Dressrosa arc. Now tomorrow, because I don't have much time to do this right now, tomorrow I'll give my final thoughts overall on this long story arc. But it's interesting though, these last 10 episodes just are here to set up the next few story arcs. I would say the next three, I'd say. Mm-hmm. We get set up for Zoo Island, Whole Cake, and the Reverie, all in just 14 episodes. We can set up for that stuff. Silver actually make that 4 because Silvermine is set up at the very end of this, which is an anime original story arc, and this was actually the second to last one they actually had for the series. Well, up until Marine Rookie, though this one led into One Piece Gold. Yes, unknown when they release this one, but I will talk about this more tomorrow, okay? So I'll discuss that tomorrow, and of course, a Comic Corner, okay? So until the next video, bye.